Good afternoon. This is Kathleen at My Alabama Farm Life, and this is going to be part 2 of winter potatoes. Can I grow potatoes in the winter? I think I have a really good chance of succeeding, but we shall see. And if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become part of my YouTube family. Several months ago, I added some sweet potatoes to 2 of my cloth container buckets, and they've only been growing, goodness, I wouldn't even say it was 2 months, but they sat in my window for a long time, and I finally got them into some soil. So I'm not expecting them to be really big, and they're not, and that's okay. I have another use for them, and you guys will see that in another video. But I'm outside today, and I'm going to go ahead and dig them up out of these containers because we got hit by frost it's been over a week, and it totally killed all the vines. But I know I have a pretty decent harvest of sweet potatoes in the containers, and I just need to dig them out and see how many. So I have to tell you how bad I procrastinate. I bought these from Haas Tools, these sweet potato slips, probably about late spring, and it took me forever to get the slips in. In fact, I only put in the one kind. I bought 2. I got a Beauregard and another one, and I don't remember the name. But I put the one in, and then I left the other one on my counter up in the window, and they've been sitting there growing ever since. I've just had them in water. All right, it looks like I've found as many as I'm going to find in this cloth bucket. It's not a huge harvest, but it will be more than enough to help me start my slips for next spring. And while I have you here, I want to do a quick shout out. You guys need to go watch Life with Blenda and Chuck. Chuck always has some great information on gardening, and they have some really awesome lives, so please go check them out. So that's going to be a white potato root. Apparently it got left in there and was growing, but hopefully that's the only one that I'll find in here. Supposedly everything else is going to be sweet potatoes, but we shall see. All right, so I think that is it. That is everything out of these 2 buckets. And I went ahead and poured my little harvest into the sink so you can get a good idea of what I got. I got a couple of pretty nice ones. And my son almost cooked them, but I'm glad he didn't. But it wouldn't have mattered because I still have some slips up on the counter, up in the window, that I'm going to plant next. And so that's what we're doing. But this time I did it the right way. I went ahead and added some new soil to it, and I mixed it up and turned it real good. And apparently I didn't find all the potatoes because there's a little slip that I found, and it wasn't the only one. So just from looking at my little jar of slips in the window, I thought I had a bunch, at least 6. And so I separated the first 2, and they were pretty nice, not huge, but pretty nice little slips. And then when I went to separate the third one, I discovered it is all one piece. So I got it separated as best as I could, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the big one in one and the 2 separate ones in the other. And as you could see, I also found a small little sweet potato root, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there too, see if we can get it to root out. So I'm going to try to put these in as deep as possible. On the one, the roots don't look really great, but the other one has a decent rootstock on it, so it should be fine. Once I get some water on them, and hopefully we're going to get some sun soon. It's been cloudy for the last couple of days, but I'm not going to knock it. It has been nice and cool, and yeah, we've got a little bit of rain, and that has helped with everything. Now on the second one, as you can see, it's got a nice big root ball on it. I'm going to dig a nice deep hole, see if we can get it in there as deep as possible. But first I'm going to turn the soil and make sure that it's all mixed pretty well. And of course I found another potato that looks like a little white potato, so it'll go into the other bucket. So just as soon as I think I've gotten everything out of the bucket and I get my nice deep hole started, I always end up pulling something else. Not only did I find a stick, but I also found another sweet potato root. So we're going to bury that or replant that too. But I'm going to get this big slip planted first, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that other smaller one there on the side, and let's see how it does. Maybe it'll grow into a nice huge sweet potato over winter, but we shall see. So I'm going to get these guys started outside, and I'm going to leave them here until it gets too cold, and then I'm going to find a spot for them in the basement. So this is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. I also want to remind you guys to go check out my other channel, Literature and More with Kathleen. You guys have a blessed and joyous day, and I will see you on my next video.